So, as an Uber driver, you got to worry about a lot. Can I just tell you, it's a lot that goes on from the standpoint of dealing with passengers back there, because you don't know who's getting in your car. Let's just keep it real. You could have Jamie, the Sunday school teacher, or you could have Jimmy that just got out of federal prison, the serial killer, or you could have, I don't know, since I'm using Jay's, Jackson, the pedophile back there. Like, you could have any number of people back there because you just don't know who's getting in your car. Obviously, we don't do the background check. Uber doesn't do a background check, so we don't know who's getting in our car. So as an Uber driver, you got to worry about that. That's the tough part, because they can have any intentions that they want, and you don't know. So they're getting in your car, you don't know what their intentions are. It can be scary. It can be very scary. It can be tough. Like, legitimately, we take strangers all day. Especially if you work in an 8-hour, you're doing this full time. We take strangers all day. We put our lives on the line in that case. So first you have to deal with strangers, the passengers in the back. Then you got to deal with the app. As a lot of people will tell you, the Uber app plays games with you. You only have like 3 seconds to accept an offer. It doesn't always give you all of the information. Depending on the area that you're at, you might have less information, more information. You got to make a decision in like 3 to 5 seconds on whether or not you want to take this ride or not take this ride. They don't really give you a ton of information. They do that intentionally because all Uber cares about is that you take the ride. They don't care that it might be going to a bad area. They don't care that you're going to be sitting in like hours and hours worth of traffic. They don't care. They don't care that, you maybe want to go home. They don't care. So you got to deal with the app. The app is going to be fun. The Uber app is going to send you stuff, and then it's going to penalize you if you don't accept. That's the notion of a lot of drivers feel like, your acceptance rate has to be super high. You can't have a really high cancellation rate. It's like a lot of drivers feel that way. You're penalized if you don't accept. And so you just have to accept. And then you only got like 3-5 seconds to really know where you're going. So, first you got the issue of you taking strangers. Then you got the issue of you don't necessarily always know where you're going. As a vet, you start getting used to it. You train your mind to look at it fairly quickly. But it's just the point. You don't really know where you're going. And then after all of that, you got to deal with the other people on the road. The other people on the road, as crazy as it sounds, can be even worse than picking up total strangers. Or even worse than an app just trying to get you to take whatever it sends you. Can be even worse. So let's watch this clip because this is an Uber driver. This is actually an Uber driver that this happened to. No, it doesn't say. Let's watch the clip first. Let's watch the clip.
An Uber driver is recovering in the hospital after he was shot in the face. Police say the shooting happened after dropping off a passenger. And the suspect is still on the run tonight. KENS 5's Earl Stoudemire has the story.
Police say a man was shot in the face in this Kia Soul when he was doing an Uber ride dropping off a passenger. Police say it happened near 6 this morning when the man was on Worshbach Road en route to drop off a passenger. According to police, the victim told them a man in a white truck pulled up beside him asking him to pull over. The Uber driver was confused and didn't do that. Police say that's when the suspect pulled up beside the Uber driver, shot him in the face, and drove off. The man was taken to the hospital and has non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect is still on the run. If you know anything about this, please call SAPD. On the Northwest Side, Earl Stoudemire, KENS 5.
Okay, so as you can see in this clip, this is an ongoing story, obviously. It doesn't say that, this Uber driver was targeted specifically because he does Uber. But I would probably, I don't know. It seems likely. Maybe he was driving in a bad area. It seems very likely that he was targeted. I don't know. It's hard to say because it just doesn't give us a lot of information. So as you can see, this is an Uber driver. He's doing his job. He has a passenger in the back. Somebody pulls up on the side of him. That's crazy. Somebody pulls up on the side of me. My mind says, go. I'm not really talking to them. I'm not really, nah. I'm gone. Apparently, that's what he did. And then they opened fire. They had bad intentions, obviously. They have really bad intentions. And it's unfortunate that the guy, it seems like he got shot in the face. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough because, it just sucks. He's just doing his normal job, his everyday job, and this is something that happens. And not only that, you got a passenger in the car. So even, again, we don't know the full story of why this situation happened. But even in that, you got some random person in the back that now stuff is so it's not just happening to the driver, it's happening to the passenger. That's crazy. That's crazy. See, this is what I mean. So as a driver, as an Uber driver, you got to be on your P's and Q's because you got to deal with your passengers. People are crazy. People are absolutely plumb crazy. And you don't never know who you're dealing with. Then the app is crazy because it likes to send you in the worst areas. Maybe that's the situation. The app sent him to pick this person up. He picked this person up. It was in a bad area. I don't know. I'm making inferences that I can't really make. But this is why, you got to be super selective with the areas that you go to. First and foremost, you as an Uber driver, you have to be selective. People say, don't be selective. Just take everything. And yeah. No, don't listen to those people. You can tell that they obviously don't drive. If they drove, then you would know you gotta be selective. Don't just go anywhere. If it looks like the hood, it talks like the hood, don't go to, don't go to bad areas, in other words. Don't go to bad areas because it's not that I'm saying that it's just that you gotta be as safe as possible. You know what I'm saying? You got to be as safe as possible. In other words, that's the whole point. Your life is way more valuable than a $4, $5 ride, right? And again, we don't know why this incident happened. We just don't know. But whatever the case is, this guy was basically targeted. It seems like the guy came up on the side of him and, told him to pull over. The guy, the Uber driver was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Rolled off and got shot, basically. I don't know. The second thing that I can say about this situation is, this is why personally, when I do Uber, I don't have any insignia around my car because I don't want people to know that I'm an Uber driver. The outside public. I know a lot of people do it because, so when you first get on the platform, it's like, yay, I'm an Uber driver. I want to wear the hat. I want to wear the shirt. I want to put it all over my dashboard. I get it. It makes sense. I get it. The problem is just that you're inviting other people to know that you're an Uber driver. It makes sense for the passenger, for the people that you're picking up, because they see the sign in your door, in your dash, in your dash. Oh yeah, okay, he's an Uber driver. Yeah, that's my Uber driver. Yeah, it makes sense. But this is why I say you also have to be careful, because it's not just about them. My life is not just $4, $5 rides. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're putting a target on your back. And again, I can't say that this is what this situation is, but it very well could be. You know, he could have the signs all up around his car, and this guy just decided to attack him because he's an Uber driver. I don't know. But you gotta be careful. So personally, I don't have any insignia around my car. None whatsoever. Because I don't want people to know that I'm an Uber driver outside of my passenger. I don't want that target on my head. Because, so I live in the state of Florida. South Florida to be exact, Miami. And down here, insurance fraud is, I think we're the capital of insurance fraud. So what I mean is, people will see that you're an Uber driver, and they're gonna try to stop. They're gonna try to cut in front of you and stop, because guess what happens if you hit them? Now they're gonna sue you, obviously, and then they're gonna sue Uber, which is a big payday, because yeah, that's how it works. I'm gonna sue you, unfortunate, but I'm really trying to sue Uber. And you know Uber's going to pay the claim because the accident happened because of you. This is why I don't, that's one of the reasons. But the other reason is, you know, like, insurance fraud is real. So that's one of the reasons. But like, that's a very simple way of just saying people target Uber drivers. Just like how they target delivery drivers, you know, because they think delivery drivers have a ton of cash on them. Delivery drivers, it's well known that delivery drivers get stuck up, get robbed all the time, because it's like, oh, well, you're a delivery driver, so you got a lot of money on you. And it's like, no, I'm a delivery driver. Like, I don't make that much money, but people don't care. All they think is, oh, you're this, so this has to be true. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, it don't work like that. But yeah, this is why I personally don't have an insignia. I don't put any insignia on my car. I just don't. And the last thing that I can say about this situation, you know, again, it sounds like this was a random situation. I gotta keep saying that. It sounds random. We don't know why the guy tried to make the Uber driver pull over. We don't know if it was road rage, if he knew him, or if the passenger in the back did something. We don't know. You know, that information still isn't out. But in this situation, one of the biggest things that would have helped, from my opinion, and this is what I tell everybody that does Uber, I mean, realistically, if you're driving on the road, you should have a dash cam. I do link one in my description, but yeah, you should definitely have a dash cam. Again, I don't know if that's the situation, but if he has a dash cam, not only, you know, in this situation, I know this is a random, but in this situation, the police are going to not only have the make and model of his car, they're going to have his face, they're going to have the whole altercation, they're going to have his voice, they're going to have a lot of data to go by to obviously try to find the suspect. They're going to have the whole situation. It's up front. It's not something that I have to recollect, or something that I have to ask the passenger, hey, what did he say? You know, no. If you got a dash cam, it records the voice. And that's what you want. You want a dash cam that records the inside, that records your voice, so that you can have all of the conversation recorded. It ain't no he said, she said, it's recorded. I recommend that you get a better one, not just a little cheap one, not just a little $20 one, because you want to record inside and you want to record outside. You want to record the front and the back and the inside. That's what I recommend. So I have a link to one in my description, but I mean, you know, you can get any one that you want. But in this situation, we don't know, but it would definitely help, because we try to prepare for accidents. That's what the whole point is. accidents, things that just happen randomly, things that you can't really prepare for. Like in this situation, the guy chose him. Again, from what we know, the Uber driver was just doing his normal day. It's not like he knew that he was going to get shot, or, you know, he knew that he was going to get into this altercation or whatever. So having a dash cam would have helped him in this situation. If he did or if he didn't, we don't know, but that's the point. That's the point, that dash cams are there for these emergency type of situations. If he was targeted, now we can see, maybe, on the footage, again, I'm just giving out random stuff, but maybe on the footage of his drive, we probably could have seen when he was at the gas station, oh, it's the same car. Oh, so that car's been watching him since he was at the gas station. Oh, so that car followed him all the way. You know what I'm saying? You can make more inferences based on the data. So it's really important to have a dash cam. Really important. Like I said, if you don't have one, if you're an Uber driver, you should. Because, yeah, we're talking about, in this situation, we're talking about another driver. Another driver attacking this driver. It's a completely random situation, completely unfortunate. But what happens more as an Uber driver is the crazy people that you got in the back seat. They're the ones that you have to be careful about. So having a dash cam saves you from them, or saves you from their word against yours. So, I definitely recommend that you get one. I definitely recommend. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this happened, but as always, I'm trying to bring awareness to these types of situations, because this wasn't planned. You just don't know. This is why I tell everybody, you got to try to be super selective with the people that you pick up, the places that you go. Got to be selective, because your safety is of the utmost importance. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying that that's this situation, because the guy opened fire not only on the Uber driver, but he opened fire on the passenger. So, people are crazy. People are deranged. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. With that being said, I'm going to get on up out of here. If you are not a part of a community, if you're an Uber driver, you're not, you do this gig work and you don't have coworkers, download the Telegram app first and hit the link in the description. You'll join our community. It is biased towards Florida people, but if we get some more other people, we'll open it up. But yeah, man, community is everything. Being a part of the community is everything. and my community, these guys make money. So you definitely want to be a part. Other than that, if you got any questions, if you got any comments, leave them down below, man. I'm doing better responding in the comments. But yeah, deuces.